Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to review the SVS SB-2000 Pro Subwoofer. I'm going to take you through how it sounds, its features, things like that, and yeah, let's just get into it. So, some of you guys might have seen my previous video where I reviewed the SVS SB-2000 subwoofer. That is the reason we're here today. A lot of you guys in the comments asked, how does the SB-2000 Pro sound in comparison? I didn't know, I hadn't tried it, I hadn't heard of it. And then one day I checked my email and I had an email from SVS saying they were going to be in town visiting a local shop, and it was only 30 minutes away from me. It was a super cool event. I drove down there, I met the team, really great people. By the way, the CEO, Gary Yakubian, very tall gentleman. I had no idea. But at the end of the day, I told them about my channel, and I was pretty honest. I was like, hey, it's a smaller channel, but some of my subscribers have asked if I could compare the SB-2000 Pro to the SB-3000. And they were like, yeah, we can send you a review unit, which I'll be honest, guys, blew me away. My channel's super tiny in comparison to most other reviewers. So the fact that they were just like, yeah, we can arrange that really meant a lot to me. So here we are. And I'm just gonna start at the top. So we've got a 12-inch woofer, 550 watt RMS amplifier, 1500 watts of peak power. If you're not good at math, that's 3 times as much, quite a bit. Height, width, and depth of 14.6 by 14.2 by 14.6 inches. Adding the grill adds an extra inch to its depth. It weighs 38 pounds. It's made of MDF. It's got a frequency response of 19 hertz to 240 hertz, plus or minus 3 decibels, of course. And it does include the awesome cell phone app that lets you adjust literally everything from the listening position just from your cell phone. It's great. We're going to talk about that in a second. The price is going to depend on the finish. The black ash is going to be $799. The gloss black, or soon to be released gloss white, is going to be $899. I emailed them before making this video, and they did tell me the gloss white, we should be anywhere from 1 week to 2 weeks away from its release. So if you've had your eye on this unit and wished it came in white, there you go. What else do we have here? So it's got a 45-day in-home trial and a 5-year warranty. So the cell phone app, wow. So I've owned the SB-3000 for a year now, which also has the cell phone app. So I have been really using this thing a lot, this software. And first of all, there's no glitches, there's no bugs, it just works. That's really important to just know. Secondly, it's one of those things, until I had it, I had no idea how badly I needed this in my life. Previously, I would get up to adjust subwoofers just like anyone else, bend over, do the thing, go back to the listening position. No, it's not right. Go back, do it again. And I would do this all the time. Sometimes I get really OCD and I want to adjust stuff, or maybe I'd thrown on a movie and I had, turned up the gain, and now I'm trying to get it back to where I wanted it for music. And what a disaster. It really sometimes took the enjoyment out of the hobby for me. With the cell phone app, I can make these adjustments so quickly. In fact, there's presets even where I can just have a preset for movies, I can have a preset for music, I can have a preset for video games or like old music that doesn't have a lot of bass, whatever. And it's very OCD friendly because I know exactly what settings I like now. So I'm going to tell you about all the things it could do. Volume or gain, as some people may call it, low pass filter, which can be adjusted down to as low as 30 hertz, phase, polarity, parametric EQ, room gain compensation, 3 user definable presets, and a slope of 6, 12, 18, or 24 decibels. Slope is something I want to talk about real quick. This is also one of those features I didn't know I needed. So in the past, when I've used subwoofers, the slope is just preset from the factory. You get what you get. You don't throw a fit. There's no adjustability. There's no options. I didn't even know what slope was, honestly, until I bought the 3000 model. Later, I would come to learn if you've got ported mains, you're going to want to set your slope at 24 decibels. And if your subwoofer doesn't allow for that adjustment, you're going to have some cancellation or some difficulty integrating the subwoofer. So at the end of the day, all these options, whether you've heard of them or not, know about them or not, just know what that comes down to is great integration, easy setup. And if you're like me and you kind of some days want more bass or less bass or want a different setup for music or movies, it makes it so easy. It's a huge quality of life improvement. I want to see every single subwoofer company implement something like this. There's not many subwoofers that do. The only one that comes to mind is like the Bowers & Wilkins D series, like they have the DB3D and a few others. They've started, I think, $2,500, which is quite expensive. Again, you know, this is $800. And anyway, you get my point. The cell phone app is, in a word, it's just great. It's just great. Okay, so next we're going to talk about versus the competition. What else can you get from other manufacturers at this price point? And the reason I want to bring this up is because I believe SVS has always been a company that presents good value. For the money you're paying, what you get in return as far as its features, performance, output, quality is a step up compared to most companies, and I'm going to prove that to you. I got 4 different subwoofers here that I was able to find in and around the same price. I had 2 really simple criteria. One, it had to be a sealed unit only, because I'm guessing if you're looking at this video, you only want a sealed subwoofer. You don't want a ported model, you don't want one with a passive radiator, you want a sealed only subwoofer. So, first one, Rhythmic F12 F400. It's got 400 watts RMS. That's a 12-inch model, and it's $829. Close, but it's got 150 watts less, no cell phone app. SVS, better value still. Now, look, the Rhythmic may sound great, don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about value here and what you get for your dollar. Next, Monitor Audio W10. I love Monitor Audio, their stuff sounds great, but you wanna know what $795 gets you in a subwoofer from Monitor Audio? 220 watts and a 10-inch driver. That's not gonna cut it for me, sorry, I need more than that. Next, Bowers & Wilkins ASW 610. I love Bowers & Wilkins subwoofers, they sound phenomenal, but at $800 you get a 10-inch driver and only 200 watts. And that's peak power, by the way. Next, we have the Monolith M12. This is gonna come the closest. It's a 12-inch driver, 500 watts, $800. But again, no cell phone app, so why would you get it? There's literally no reason to get any other subwoofer at this price point as far as I'm concerned. Now, look, there might be other ones I don't know about perhaps, but for what you get in return, like, it's kind of a no-brainer for me so far. Like, and if you feel like I'm trying to like sell you this thing or something, like, doesn't affect me. I already own the 3000 model. I don't use affiliate links. There's no way for me to get a kickback. Like, this information is just for free and for fun. You do what you want with it, okay? Next, let's talk about pros and cons. Pros, the looks, the price, the performance, the value, as just discussed. All those things are huge in my opinion. It's really good. Cons, no high-level inputs. I can understand subwoofers over $1,000 not having high-level inputs, but I do think subwoofers under the $1,000 mark should have high-level inputs. Just to be clear, if you don't know exactly what that means is, in a nutshell, if your preamp or integrated amp does not have pre-outs or a subwoofer out, you cannot use this. If you were planning to use your amplifier's speaker level outputs to the high level inputs on a subwoofer, this doesn't have that option. If you want that option and you want an SVS subwoofer, the SB-1000 or PB-1000 have high level inputs. Get those, you should be very happy with those as well. Next, what did I love, what did I hate? The difference between pros and cons and love and hate is pros and cons is very factual stuff. Objective, whereas love and hate is kind of just emotional. What do I think? So love, size, looks, and the grill. And what I mean by the grill is, so the SB-3000 is going to have like a big beefy metal grill. It looks great, I love it, but it is going to protrude out into the room a little bit and draw some attention to it. It's, from a stylistic standpoint, it makes a statement. And that's okay. But the SB-2000 Pro being a little bit smaller, I think one of its biggest like upshots compared to the 3000 is its slightly smaller size. It's going to draw a little bit less attention to it, and God bless, they gave it a regular grill. So if you want that subwoofer that's going to kind of not draw visual attention to it, you just kind of want to tuck it away in a corner, you don't want to really notice it, this will be great for that because it's just the right size. The grill is very normal looking and it will not draw attention to it. What did I hate about the unit? Nothing. There's like really nothing to hate, honestly. Yeah, there just isn't. Next, let's talk about the sound. So I got it broken up between output, distinction and articulation, speed, extension, and authority. So let's start with output. With 550 watts RMS and 1500 peak, there's tons of output. Like, there's just nothing else I could say besides that. There's tons of it. If you've got like a really, really big room, you know, get 2, right? Or if you're going to use this thing really for theater duty only, I would say just get the PB-2000 Pro, which is the ported model. That's going to be better for guys with bigger rooms or guys that really want that low end rumble. But its output for the size, even size aside, I mean, it's got a lot of output, guys. Distinction and articulation. And when I say that, what I'm describing is, do the different bass notes sound different? The answer is usually yes or no. Some subs, all the bass notes sound the same. That's kind of annoying. It's called being one-notey or monotone. This is very common in car audio, for example. And then better subwoofers are not monotone. The different bass notes sound different. The SB-2000 is like that. It's the better option. The SB-3000 is also like that. It has good distinction, so I'm not surprised there because this is kind of like the SB-3000's little brother. Speed, does it start and stop when it's supposed to? Yes. This is another one of those yes or no situations, just like the distinction. A subwoofer either has good distinction or it doesn't. This has good distinction. This has also good speed. It starts when it's supposed to. It stops when it's supposed to. Extension. How low does it go? What's its output at those lower frequencies? The literature says it goes down to 19 hertz, and they do have a frequency response graph on the website. Based on what I see visually in that frequency response graph and its in-room response, I would say what they're saying is totally accurate. What's its output like at those lower frequencies between 20 and 30 hertz? It's pretty darn good, honestly. Is it as good as its ported sibling, the PB-2000 Pro? No, that's a ported model. Ported subs have port tuning. They're going to exaggerate that low frequency bass, whereas sealed subwoofers are going to give you a more accurate amount of low frequency bass. Again, if you're looking at this video and you're in the market for a sealed subwoofer, I'm assuming you kind of know a lot of these things already, but if any of this is confusing to you, feel free to ask questions in the comments. The low frequency extension is great. For those of you that follow my channel a lot know, one of the songs I used to test the subwoofer's really low frequency extension is a song by Young Jeezy called Put On. The intro has a crazy amount of bass, and it's got to be around the 20 hertz point. You can't hear a damn thing. If your subwoofer's got the capability though, it will shake the hell out of the room. Now, my SB-3000 can definitely deliver the intro of that song with serious authority. And I wanted to see if the SB-2000 Pro could do it too, and I'll be honest, I wasn't sure it could. It's 1 inch smaller, and in terms of a circle, that's kind of a big difference because the edge of a circle actually has a lot of surface area. Don't forget that pi r squared formula we all learned in math. And this has a little bit less power and a smaller cabinet, and the driver's not as beefy. But to my surprise, it could actually deliver it no problem. And what that means to me is from top to bottom, the SB-2000 Pro is a full range subwoofer. No matter how challenging the song I threw at it, no matter how low the frequency extension was in the music, there was nothing missing. Usually, if like sealed subwoofers, if they don't have the right power or good enough driver or just a good enough design, it's been my experience that some songs the bass will just be missing because it's too low, and sometimes sealed models, they just don't have enough authority down low to dig deep and have that gusto to deliver it. So the SB-2000 Pro can do that. I was happy about that. I don't know how much more I can talk about extension, so we're just going to move on to authority. Again, 550 watts RMS, 1500 peak. It has authority. It has enough power for like big dynamic swings and peaks. It's good, guys. So how does it sound compared to the SB-3000? First, let me tell you about some of its physical differences, like the grill we already talked about. The size, the SB-3000 is 1 inch bigger all around. And the price, the SB-3000 is $200 more. Or if you're considering dual subs, it's $400 more, obviously. Now, in a nutshell, how does the 2000 Pro compare to the SB-3000? Well, the SB-3000 is the next model up. It should be better, and it is. It's better in just about every category. There's nothing that the SB-3000 Pro doesn't do better. And there's a good reason for that. It's the next model up in the lineup, and it's 25% more expensive. It's like really that simple, right? SVS would be a really bad company if like the cheaper model was better than the more expensive model. It wouldn't make sense from so many different perspectives. If you're in between and you need help deciding, let me see if I can help you here. So the 2000 Pro is going to be for someone who wants it to integrate with their room decor, like something like that's really important to them. They want a subwoofer that's not going to draw a lot of visual attention to it. They want a high wife acceptance factor. Being 1 inch smaller all around doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not a lot, but visually in a room, it does make somewhat of a big difference, at least in my opinion. Also, that more traditional style grill is going to help you a lot with room integration. So the SB-2000 Pro is great there, especially if you're going to be running 2 of them, right? Space may be at a premium. The SB-3000, who is that for? That's going to be for anyone who's got the extra cash and like $200 isn't a big deal to you. The slightly bigger size isn't a big deal to you. Get the 3000, you know? There's kind of no reason not to, and we can keep saying that. Like, if another extra couple $100 isn't a big deal to you, get the 4000. If more money isn't a bigger deal to you, get the SB16 Ultra, right? We can keep going up the model line. Each one is going to be better. Each one is going to cost a little bit more. If you can afford the better, always get the better, guys. You know what I mean? Like, when I got my car, I got the most car I could get with my money because I love cars. I'm like a huge car guy. I love them so much, and I got the best damn car I can get for what my budget was. You know what I mean? I even pushed my budget a little bit, and I definitely recommend you do that with your audio hobby because it's really fun to be a little reckless sometimes financially. But yeah, look, I don't know like how else I can kind of describe the differences. Each subwoofer is fantastic at its price point. The SB-2000 Pro is phenomenal. The SB-3000 is phenomenal. They're just slightly different. The cost is a little bit different. Their size is a little bit different. The visuals are a little bit different as well. At the end of the day, if you have any more questions as far as their performance versus each other, I'll try to answer it if there's more I think I can say. Ask in the comments below and we could talk about it. At the end of the day, though, SVS has a 45-day in-home trial. I would just say buy the one you think you'd be most happiest with, and if you're not, send it back for the other one. Like, that's like, they have the policy. Use it. Why not? You know? They also have an upgrade path, which is pretty badass. In the first year, I actually did this myself. This is how I ended up with the 3000 that I own. I used to own the old 2000 ported model, the PC 2000. And within your first year of ownership, you can return your subwoofer for full credit, minus shipping both ways, towards an upgrade. Full credit towards an upgrade. Amazing, amazing policy. So if you know you want the 3000 or maybe even the 4000, and it's not in the budget right now, and you got to start with the next model down, but you want to upgrade in the first year, your money's not going to waste. SVS is a super cool company. They have badass customer service. They have the 5-year warranty I told you about. There's a whole bill of rights. Check out their website and you can see what your rights are as a buyer. It's good stuff, good product. Hopefully this is a good video. And until next time, later.